I can't tell you, I've heard thousands of speeches in my lifetime. I rarely remember something that anyone says after it's over. Rarely do I
The
do.
thing from my bank saying the check was cashed before the timeline of the second 14 days, so I don't think I should have to pay the additional fees that are being asked.
People just can't put rejection together in their head. They can't accept it.
Right.
And save money, you end up in court.
Yes,
And we'll be
indeed.
here Monday.
Do you have a ponytail too?
Uh,
Oh, you do?
in a sense, yes.
Oh, it's all the same color.
Yeah, it's like a man.
Well, they're doing good because of the way you brought them up, that's why.
Yeah, I thank God. I thank God.
It doesn't happen by accident. If I ruled with my heart, I would just have to come to court every day and say, everybody go home, everything is dismissed.
A student recalls how a speech by Judge Caprio impressed and inspired him. Kyle's a junior at the University of Rhode Island studying political science and philosophy. He was charged with operating left of center.
There was a crash, I believe, in the lane, and when I pulled up behind the cop car, I didn't know what to do. There were cars behind me. I looked in the parallel lane, noticed it was empty, so I thought the rational thing to do would be to go around.
He stared back at him and naturally he slowed down. Then the police officer told him he was going to give him a ticket. Kyle was a little confused because he'd seen 3 other cars do the same thing as he was waiting to be given the ticket. Judge Frank asked if there was any accident involved and he told him that there wasn't.
If there was no accident involved, and if you were able to get back in your lane safely, I'm going to dismiss it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to check with you in a couple of years, see what you finally decided to do.
That would be nice.
He told the judge that he was in court a few months back and apparently his interaction got on TikTok and it created quite a story with something to see. He had mentioned that he remembered Judge Frank from the State House. He was a page at the time and Judge Frank had come to make a speech.
Do you remember anything that either one of us said that day?
Yes, you had spoken about rediscovering these lost values. You had mentioned how your father got up every morning to go to work and his wife would be there every morning before him.
The speech was basically about hard work, and even though it must have been a couple of years ago, he could still remember it because it was a really good speech. Not only is he an amazing judge, he knows the right things to say to motivate and help people too. For him to have remembered, it was a really impactful speech for him.
Well, you did a good job of buttering me up, so...
Oh, well, thank you.
All right. This is going to be dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
Considering the fact that he's been in court twice and the fact that he's also studying political science, theory, and how people interact, Judge Frank requested he give an impression of the court proceedings in the court.
I think there's a very human, sentimental touch in every interaction that you have with these people here, so I do appreciate that part.
He articulates it better than I do. Thank you. That's very nice.
Thank you very much.
A really articulate young man and a compassionate judge? What more could you ask for? Can a 4-year-old actually outsmart Judge Caprio? Deandra's in court with her son Brian. He's 4 years old and he told the court that he was going to help his mom out. Well, that's a smart, cute little kid. The judge asked if he was willing to help him out and he agreed without hesitation.
2 choices. You listening?
Yeah.
All right. I can charge your mommy $125. I can charge her $75. Or I can charge her $25.
After a little thinking, Brian didn't pick up any of the judge's options. He stated that his mom should be charged $5. You could tell that he definitely loves his mommy. Judge Frank then asked if he was going to help her pay the money, and he, without doubt, said that he was. It's the effort that matters. Dropping his long-saved birthday money? That's worth a whole lot.
Love your mommy, don't you?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I can tell. I saw you back there cuddling up a little bit, and your mommy was taking care of you. So this is his first time in court.
Yes.
Okay, so when he leaves, he's not going to think court's terrible, I hope.
I hope not.
The total fine was $125, but even though Brian wanted him to charge her just $5, the judge stated that he was going to charge her $25. Well, that's fair. I really love it when smart kids come on this show, and it's really clear that this kid has got a good upbringing. On to the next case. A by-the-book motorist finds it really hard to believe that she broke a rule. She was charged with parking at a prohibited area on Brown Street. According to the record, the ticket was issued at 9:27 and she paid the ticket on 10:19.
I put it in the mail. So I thought I put it in the mail within the 14 days, but even if not, I could see getting tagged for the second up in the fee, but not the third.
If you don't pay the ticket within 14 days, it doubles.
She had paid $30, but now the city is asking for $60, which means they gave her a double penalty. According to the record, though, she paid the ticket on 10/19, which was 22 days after the ticket, so the best the city could ask for is the $30. So the judge decided to dismiss it. She had a second ticket from 12 years ago, though.
You know that woman you told me we've been chasing for 12 years? We couldn't park a ticket.
Yes,
Finally got her.
finally.
It was Alexandria. Okay?
Yeah, it's definitely not unlikely that I parked on Carpenter Street 12 years ago.
She affirmed that she owned a Mercedes-Benz 300 12 years ago. Well, that confirms the ticket is hers at least. She stated that she knew about the ticket, but that was a little bit after she'd moved in 2019, so it probably went to her old address.
Or whatever the follow-up.
You knew about this ticket. You know how I know you knew about this ticket?
How?
Because you paid for it.
Oh, well, then it was the same situation.
You
See,
made
I
a
have a good
payment.
track record of paying the ticket and then.
She actually did pay the ticket, so the case was dismissed. She got lucky with that one. Even after 12 years, she still didn't get to pay for the ticket. On to the next case. A domestic violence caseworker discusses the challenges she faces each and every day. It appeared that the car was registered in her boyfriend's name as he owns the car, but she drives it. She's also got 3 school zone violations.
For the first two, I worked there for 8 years, and I never got a speeding ticket there. And those were my first 2 speeding tickets. And I tried to come to court for it, but that was, I guess it was like during COVID time. And I tried to call, and they said that the court wasn't open.
She explained that the third one was on Blackstone Boulevard. She was taking her daughter to her doctor's appointment, and she was throwing up in the back, so she was rushing to pull over and clean it. She's got 2 daughters, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
On Passport Parking to park it, I was at the RISE conference on last week, and then when I came out, I got a ticket, but I have it on here that I paid for parking.
What do you do? Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a program manager for domestic violence at the nonprofit on Emwood.
Oh.
Domestic violence is an issue of great concern, and having to deal with that is an entire job. Judge Frank asked what the worst case she had to deal with was. She explained that she helps a lot of victims get the victim's compensation, but as far as the worst, she once had a client that came out of jail and she was trying to get the victim away from her abuser.
The doctor once told me that handled that, and he says, usually, he said, rejection is a terrible thing. And a lot of this domestic violence is because of rejection. People just can't cope with rejection. Now, that's an oversimplification. I'm not trying to solve the issue of...
That's a really valid point. He stated that the parking ticket would be dismissed. She also has 2 32s, but the judge dismissed him at 31, as he stated that he was going to dismiss one of them.
It's one of those. It's going to cost you, it's $50.
Thank you so much.
Keep up your good work.
Thank you.
A motorist expresses happiness over her new marital status. Miss Gabriel was charged with overtaking on the left.
So what happened was that he was gonna pull, well, he wasn't even in his vehicle. He was standing outside his vehicle, the police officer.
Why, is he supposed to be in the vehicle?
She explained that he had run into his vehicle because he'd heard her engine go off. He ended up giving her a ticket for taking the left side, and she doesn't know what that means. She stated that the car was slowing down, so she thought they were going to take a right, hence why she went around. She further stated that she was going onto the highway to go back home, and she was in a hurry.
I was getting my vehicle fixed, so
You were doing what?
I was getting my vehicle fixed.
All right, this was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Yes,
All right. Did you get it fixed?
somewhat.
What's wrong with
It's
it?
a BMW, so it's difficult to fix, so.
Judge Frank asked her what was wrong with the car. She asserted that her gas had gone up and she was putting in the wrong gas. She was putting in regular instead of premium because she was trying to save money. Well, she still got to spend more for the repairs. She's a retired teacher from preschool, so she's not working currently as she's going back to school.
I'm going back to school for engineering.
Do you have any children?
No. Happily divorced.
You happily divorced?
Yeah.
Were you happily married?
Somewhat.
Somewhat? Okay, it's good enough.
Based on the construction of the statute, which says you're allowed to pass someone on the left as long as you don't get in an accident, hit someone, or cause some kind of damage, the case was dismissed. She had a great personality, and with the amount of money she still needed to spend on repairs, she deserved a break. On to the next case. Mr. Dominguez had a school zone violation on Douglas Avenue and he was caught on camera. He told the court that he had dropped his wife at the Dunkin' Donuts Center that morning for a vaccine. She was working in the medical field, so she got an early allowance for it.
She doesn't drive, so I brought her to the Dunkin' Donuts Center and I parked outside. And about 25 minutes later, they called me saying that she was put into an ambulance and brought to Roger Williams. Now, my wife has a couple allergies.
He had never actually been to Roger Williams before because he was familiar with other hospitals in the area, but not Roger Williams, so he used the GPS and he was also really concerned about the new vaccine. Well, with the new vaccine comes the new virus. Due to this, he wasn't paying so much attention as he should have. That was a pretty compelling story from this guy.
Carrigan, you noticed that Mr. Dominguez is very well groomed. Did you notice that?
He is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm a little jealous. I can't grow that.
How long did it take you to grow the beard?
Well, this length is probably about 9 months for me.
Really?
Surprisingly, that's not the longest it's been. He stated that he tries to keep it more groomed in the winter and then he grows it out a little in the summer. I just knew Judge Frank was going to make a joke out of it. He asked him if he always got recruited at Christmas and have him dye it white. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't get recruited to do that, but he does hand out presents at his family's Christmas, so he's basically what they call the summer Santa look.
How's your wife feel about that?
If I shaved and cut my hair, she would probably do a backflip through the courtroom. She would be very happy.
Inspector Carrigan, did you say that the matter would be dismissed subject to him shaving the beard?
Yes.
Make his wife happy?
Yes.
Please don't say that.
Based on the explanation, the matter was dismissed. Well, anybody would do the same thing he did, so he definitely deserved a break. On to our next one. A motorist has a chance to get her ticket dismissed if she can answer a simple boxing question correctly.
Speeding ticket on Chalkstone Avenue. You're from Brockton, Massachusetts?
Yes.
You drove here this morning from Brockton?
Yes.
What time did you get up this morning?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, to get here on time.
Yeah.
Initially, she didn't know she was in a school zone, but after listening to conversations from other people, she realized. She also wasn't aware that there was a limit. She asserted that she doesn't drive fast, and when she received the ticket, she couldn't believe it.
You came to the conclusion that you were driving fast.
No, not in Massachusetts, but in here it's different. So, again, I'm a retiree. I work on left for second daily just to make up for the second daily insurance.
Although she's a retiree, she has to pay the secondary insurance. She's got sick a lot too, so she does need that secondary insurance to cover her costs. She's from Cape Verde and she's been in the United States since 1974. That's a long time. When she was working, she used to work for Polaroid and she did so for 27.5 years. She mentioned that she was kind of surprised when they went out of business.
I work teaching, and now I'm working for driving left for secondary, just to make up for my insurance.
You have any children?
Yes.
How many?
Only 6.
6.
Did she say only 6 children? Like, no ma'am, that's a lot of kids. They're now on their own and they're all doing great, and that's really all that matters. Judge Frank stated that he was going to ask her a question, but it wasn't really what I was expecting. He asked her who the very famous fighter from Brockton, Massachusetts was. Now, I doubt she knows the answer to that.
Mike Tyson? Is
Mike
that
Tyson? No. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask, if Regina can tell me, I'll dismiss the case. Get over there.
Well, let's see how it goes. He confidently answered the question saying it was Rocky Marciano, which was correct. Not only did he correctly answer the question, he also gave the court another name of a middleweight champion named Marvin Hagel, who was also from Brockton, Massachusetts. Now, that's really impressive. Since Mr. Machine wants to show how smart he is, the judge decided to ask him another question.
Who was Marvin Hagel's manager?
Goody Petronelli.
You knew that?
Yes.
Oh, he knew that. He is a smarty pants.
Yeah, I picked the right person.
See? I knew it.
Well, thanks to Mr. Machine, the case was dismissed. A motorist looks deep into the heart of Inspector Carrigan and doesn't like what she sees. She was charged with parking 25 feet to the corner on Federal Street.
What's that name tag say?
It's my Empire. I came from school.
Where do you go to school?
Empire Beauty School.
Oh, yeah. And so what are you studying? To be what?
A cosmetologist.
He went further to ask what a cosmetologist did. She told him and thought it was a lot to learn. He then asked her if she remembered the ticket. She explained that it was her second day of school, so she didn't really know where to park.
Well, you had a $30 ticket and it wasn't paid within 28 days.
Yeah.
So now it tripled to $90.
Yeah, I lost the ticket.
So what are you asking me to do?
I'm not sure.
Inspector Kerrigan asked if they could go by his heart instead. The judge then asked her whose heart she would want to decide the case. She told him she'd rather go with his. Well, I'd honestly rather go with Judge Frank's heart too. I mean, who wouldn't pick a compassionate heart?
You made a good decision.
She did. Very good decision.
Because Inspector Carrigan would say $90.
No, I'd add court cost to it.
$90 plus $35 court costs.
Yes.
I could see it in his eyes.
That's pretty hilarious, but I agree with her though. She's not only a cosmetologist, she's a mind reader too. He asked if she had any children. She told him she doesn't, but she helps her mom take care of her 9-year-old niece who's going to be 10 soon.
Living with your niece someday, if you have children of your own, you've already got a good practice in being a surrogate mom along with your mother.
Yeah, I hope so.
So your mother certainly was a great role model for you, the way you're presenting yourself. And you're going to be a good role model for your niece.
Judge Frank asserted that he was going to take into consideration what was going on in her life and dismiss the case.